So we make it down into the troposphere. We're talking about weather now. There's some basic principles that's important to understand as we talk about processes on the earth, the way God's designed it to work. For instance, when things heat up, they expand. It's called thermal expansion. When things cool off, they contract. Also, when air is warm, it can hold more moisture. It absorbs more moisture than cooler air. That's the reason when you're blow drying your hair, you use hot air, because hot air will absorb the moisture in your hair faster, because hot air absorbs moisture. It also expands, it also rises, and those kind of things. And so what's happening here is the air at the Earth's surface is being heated by the sunlight. It's bouncing off the Earth, causing the Earth to heat up. When the Earth heats up, it heats up the air right at the Earth's surface. If you go out in August, let's say August 20th, it's 107 degrees outside, and it's like 2:30 in the afternoon, and you put your hand on the hood of your car, you're not going to leave it there very long, are you? Because the hood of your car is going to be hot enough to, like, scramble eggs, especially in Texas. You've probably looked along the surface of your hood many times, and you can see the heat waves coming up off of it. Well, the Earth's surface is like that. The sunlight hits the Earth's surface, and it causes the Earth's surface to heat up, and it naturally heats that air right above the Earth's surface. So you put your hand over the hood of your car, you can actually feel it's very hot right near the surface. As you move your hand up, it gets cooler and cooler. When I was a kid, we went to Pikes Peak in Colorado, and I was about 12, sitting next to this. She was probably about 18, so I was really nervous. And my mom tried to make small talk. And she said, honey, you're going to freeze to death. You need a sweater, because she was in a tank top or something. She's going to Pikes Peak. And she says, no, I'll be okay, because we're getting closer to the sun. And so in her mind, if you're getting closer to the sun, it's going to get hotter. Makes sense. That's pretty high. You're getting a lot closer to the sun. Well, the thing is, it doesn't work that way. When you get off the Earth's surface, it actually gets colder, because you're getting away from that radiant heat. So anyway, the air mass right at the Earth's surface begins to heat up about midday. In the morning, it's nice and cool, but throughout the morning hours into noon, it begins to heat up. And when things heat up, they expand. And so when the air at the Earth's surface expands, is it more dense or less dense? If it's expanding, it's less dense. But the air above it's cold, and it's more dense. Is that a stable situation, to have less dense air below and more dense air above? No, that's not a stable situation. I could lay one of you on the floor and put something really heavy on top of you, so you're less dense, like a lead weight or a piano. Let's say a grand piano on top of you, that's more dense. You would know that that's not a stable situation, because the less dense material will want to be on top. So you'll want to be on top of the piano, which is a lot more comfortable than being under the piano. Unless it's on legs, well, you know what I'm talking about. If it was like on top of you, you'd be very uncomfortable. Well, the air is very uncomfortable too when it's expanded. It wants to be on top. And so usually about 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon, that air will find a little, some kind of crack or conduit, and it will suddenly arise up through it. And so you have this very strong current of warm, moist air rising. And it will rise until it reaches a stable level, and then it fans out. That's called a cumulonimbus cloud, like you see here. They also call them anvil clouds, thunderheads. And because of that rising air, oftentimes it produces all kinds of electricity, and you have thunderstorms and all that. If you've lived in the mountains, you know what I'm talking about. It's like clockwork. 1:30 in the afternoon, you just see it. They just start popping up, and you get these rain showers for a few hours. It stabilizes, and this is the process.